slips through Linda's house, and when she comes back from the market, someone is already waiting in the fog outside. Could it be her ex-husband? Hi everyone, hope you're having a great day. Today we're diving into Linda's scariest moment on the mountain, and if you enjoy the story, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next episodes. The mountain goes quiet before something bad happens. Not the peaceful kind of quiet, more like the kind that makes you hear your own breathing too clearly. The fog is low today, clinging to the trees like wet cotton. Linda is walking home from the market, one hand gripping the basket strap, the other steadying the load on her hip. Her shoulders ache, but her mind is finally doing that small, hopeful thing it rarely does. I sold enough. I can make it this week. She tells herself that over and over as she climbs the last stretch of the trail. Then she feels it, that prickling on the back of her neck, the feeling that someone is behind her. Linda stops. She turns quickly, scanning the path. Only fog, only bamboo swaying, only the damp earth and her own footprints. She lets out a shaky breath, forcing a laugh that doesn't sound real. Linda, muttering, "It's just the mountain. It's just my nerves." She walks faster anyway. Her house appears through the mist, small, wooden, stubbornly standing on the slope like it refuses to be moved. Linda's pace slows as she reaches the front, and she freezes. The gate latch is wrong. Not broken, not snapped. Just not sitting the way she left it. Linda knows exactly how she closes that latch. It's muscle memory. It's survival. Her eyes drop to the ground. There are muddy footprints near the porch. They're too big to be hers. Too deep. Too heavy. Linda's stomach tightens so hard it feels like pain. She stays still, listening. No chickens. No wind chimes. No normal sounds. Then, inside the house, wood creaks. A soft, slow creak, like someone shifted their weight on the floor. Linda's grip tightens around the basket strap until her fingers sting. She doesn't scream. She doesn't run inside. She forces her voice to sound normal, like she's calling out to a neighbor. Linda, calling. "Hello, is someone there?" Silence answers her. Linda swallows. Her eyes flick to the window. The curtain is slightly off, like it's been pushed aside. It wasn't like that this morning. She steps up to the door. It's not fully closed, just a thin gap of darkness. Linda pushes it open with 2 fingers. The door groans softly, and the air hits her. Not smoke, not food, alcohol, and something sharp, old tobacco. Her heart stutters. That smell pulls a memory out of her like a hook. A slurred voice, a heavy hand, a threat whispered like a promise. Linda's throat goes dry. She steps inside carefully like she's walking into a trap. Her eyes scan everything at once. The cooking corner, the shelf, the sleeping area, the floor. And then she sees it. On the table, in the center, like it was placed there on purpose. A cup. And beside it, a cigarette butt. Fresh. Linda stares at it, unable to blink, because no one comes here. No one smokes in her house. Not unless. She stops herself before she finishes the thought, but her body already knows. Her skin already knows. Linda takes one slow step closer. Her basket bumps the table edge softly, a tiny sound. And in the dim corner near the sleeping area, something moves. Not a clear face, not a full body, just a shadow slipping behind the divider. Fast, silent, alive. Linda's blood turns cold. Her lungs forget what they're supposed to do. For a second, she can't move. Then survival kicks in. She raises her voice, trying to make it strong, trying to make it sound like she's not alone. "Linda, if you came to steal, there's nothing valuable here. Take whatever you want and leave." No answer. The shadow doesn't speak. But Linda hears it. someone breathing, careful and controlled. She backs up one step. The floor creaks. The shadow shifts again, like it's reacting. Linda's mind races. Do I run? Do I scream? Do I fight? Her hands tremble. She forces herself to speak again, louder, sharper. Linda, I'm not scared of you. Her voice cracks at the end, betraying her. She tries another tactic. A lie, but a powerful one. Linda, firm. CEO Quang is coming up here soon. He'll be here any minute. The name hangs in the air, and something changes. Not in a dramatic way, just a tiny pause, a tiny tightening of the room, like the shadow heard the name and didn't like it. Linda's heart pounds harder. She needs help. She needs Quang. Slowly, without taking her eyes off the divider, Linda slides her hand into her pocket. Her fingers find her phone. She presses the screen on, keeping the light hidden behind her palm. She taps Quang's name without looking. Call. It rings. Once. Twice. Linda's mouth feels numb. The call connects. CEO Quang. Phone. Normal at first. Linda? You're home already? Linda's voice comes out as a whisper. Linda. Quang. Don't talk loud. A pause. His tone changes immediately. CEO Quang. What's wrong? Linda stares at the dark corner, barely breathing. Linda, whispering. Someone is in my house. Another pause. Short. Controlled. CEO Quang. Where are you right now? Are you hurt? Linda. Near the door. I saw a shadow. CEO Quang. Listen to me. Don't go deeper inside. Don't confront them. Step outside. Now. And don't hang up. Linda swallows hard. Her legs feel like they're made of water. She takes a careful step backward. The floor creaks again. The shadow moves. Faster this time. Linda's breath catches. Linda. Urgent whisper. It's moving. Quang, it's moving. CEO Quang. Linda, outside, run. Linda bolts. She shoves the door open and stumbles onto the porch, nearly dropping the basket. Cold air slaps her face. The fog wraps around her like a blindfold. She runs down the steps, phone pressed to her ear, then turns. And through the open doorway, she sees him. Not fully in the light, just an outline of a man standing in the dark, watching her. But Linda doesn't need a clear face. She recognizes the way he stands, the shoulders, the stillness, the ownership in that posture. Like her fear belongs to him. Her voice breaks. Linda, whispering, it's him. On the phone, Quang's voice drops into something dangerous and calm. CEO Quang. Who? Linda. Linda can barely get the words out. Linda. My ex-husband. And then the floor inside creaks again, moving away from the front door, toward the back. He's not coming for her. He's leaving, escaping. Linda spins, not knowing whether to chase him or stay frozen where she is. When she hears something else, footsteps outside, not inside, outside, in the fog, on the path leading up to her house. Heavy footsteps, fast, certain. Linda's body goes rigid, because now there are two directions to fear: the shadow retreating behind her, and the footsteps approaching in front of her. The fog thickens. A darker shape starts to form in it, slowly taking the outline of a person. Linda clutches the phone like it's the only thing holding her upright. CEO Quang. Phone. Urgent. Linda, stay on the line. Tell me what you see. Linda's lips tremble. She stares into the mist, and the shadow in the fog takes one more step closer. The shadow in the fog moves, closer. Linda stands on the porch like her feet are glued to the wood. Her basket slips on her arm, but she doesn't even feel it. All she can see is that shape forming on the path. CEO Quang. Phone, low and urgent. Linda, don't go back inside. Stay where you can run. What do you see? Linda swallows hard. Linda, whispering. A man. I can't see his face. The figure stops at the edge of the steps, half covered by fog. Then the voice comes out. Quiet, slow, and painfully familiar. Voice. So this is where you've been hiding. Linda's blood turns cold. Her lips part before she can stop herself. Linda. You. He steps forward just enough for faint light to catch his face. Older, rougher, but unmistakable. Those eyes. She has seen them in her worst nights. He gives a small smile like he's enjoying her fear. Ex-husband. Still remember me? Good. Linda's hands shake. She keeps the phone pressed to her ear like it's the only thing keeping her standing. Inside the house, a soft creak sounds, near the back. Linda's eyes flick toward the open doorway. The man notices immediately. Ex-husband, mocking. What? You got someone in there? Linda forces her voice steady. Linda, why are you here? He takes another step forward. Linda steps back. The porch creaks. Ex-husband. You ask that like you didn't run, like you didn't disappear. Linda's jaw tightens. Linda, we're done. He laughs once, short and sharp. Ex-husband. Done? You don't get to decide that alone. He tilts his head, looking past her shoulder into the house as if he owns the place. Ex-husband. So it's true, the CEO. Linda's stomach drops. So he wasn't guessing. He already knew. Ex-husband. CEO Quang, the rich man who likes mountain girls. Linda's voice hardens. Linda, don't say his name. His smile fades into something darker. Ex-husband. Or what? He'll save you? He'll buy you a new life? He leans in, voice low and nasty. Ex-husband. Tell me, what did you give him? Linda's face burns with shame and fury. His words are meant to stain her no matter what the truth is. On the phone, Quang's voice tightens. CEO Quang. Linda, don't argue. Keep distance. I'm coming. Linda barely moves her lips. Linda, whispering. He's here. The man's eyes flick down. He notices the phone now. His expression shifts. Annoyed. Threatened. Ex-husband. Calling him already? He reaches forward suddenly. Linda jerks back fast. Linda, loud, shaking. Don't touch me. The shout echoes through the fog. For a second he freezes, surprised. Then he smiles like he's amused she grew a spine. Ex-husband. Wow, brave. He points toward the house. Ex-husband. I came for what's mine. Linda's breath catches. Linda. Nothing here is yours? His eyes harden. Ex-husband. You are. The words hit like a slap. Linda's throat tightens, but she refuses to crumble. She steadies her feet, forcing her voice out. Linda. No, I'm not. His gaze drops to her basket. Ex-husband. You sold well today, didn't you? Linda's heart pounds faster. She remembers the crooked latch, the muddy footprints, the cup, the cigarette butt. Her voice turns cold. Linda. You went into my house. He doesn't deny it. He smirks like that's the point. Ex-husband. Your door is too easy. Living alone up here. You should be more careful. Linda's hands tremble. Linda. Where is my money? He shrugs. Careless. Ex-husband. Call it repayment. Linda's eyes sting. She takes one more step back until her shoulder hits the door frame. The wood feels rough against her skin. Then, cutting through the fog like a blade, a motorbike engine climbs the trail fast. The man's face shifts. He turns his head, listening. The engine gets louder, closer. Linda's chest tightens with relief, so strong it hurts. He mutters under his breath, bitter. Ex-husband. He really comes when you call. Linda's voice is steady now. Linda. Leave. Jealousy flashes in his eyes. Anger, too. The humiliation of being challenged. He steps forward like he's about to grab her. And the motorbike breaks through the fog. Quang stops hard, jumps off, and strides straight toward them. His eyes lock on the man instantly. Quang doesn't look confused. He looks like he understands everything without being told. He steps onto the porch and places himself in front of Linda, a shield. CEO Quang, calm, dangerous. Step away from her. The man lifts his chin, trying to look big. Ex-husband. So you're CEO Quang. Quang doesn't blink. CEO Quang. Who are you? The man smiles like he wants to hurt them both. Ex-husband. Her husband. Linda flinches. Quang's jaw tightens, but his voice stays steady. CEO Quang. Ex. The man's smile cracks. Ex-husband. A word doesn't erase me. Quang takes one step forward, close enough that the man has to stop smiling. CEO Quang. You entered her home and threatened her. Leave, now. The man laughs, but it's forced. Ex-husband. Or what? You'll call the police? Quang pulls out his phone slowly, eyes never leaving him. CEO Quang. Yes. The man's confidence wavers. He glances to the side of the house, toward the back path. Linda's heart jumps again. The other shadow. She whispers fast, trembling. Linda. Quang. Someone else was inside. Quang's eyes flick to the doorway. He hears it too. A soft creak from the back of the house. The man uses that moment. He steps back like he's leaving, then snaps his hand toward Linda's basket. Linda yanks it away. Linda. Don't. Quang's voice turns ice cold. CEO Quang. Touch her again. That's all he says. But it's enough. The man's eyes burn with hate. He points at Linda. Ex-husband. This isn't over. Then he turns and disappears into the fog, moving fast down the trail like he already planned his escape. Quang takes one step as if to chase, then stops. Because Linda is shaking behind him, and because the sound inside the house happens again, closer to the back door. Quang turns and pushes into the house. His eyes scan the table, the cup, the cigarette butt. His expression tightens. He moves to the back door and pulls it open. Fog pours in like smoke. No one there, but on the ground, fresh footprints leading away into the trees. Quang's fist clenches. He looks back at Linda. CEO Quang. He didn't come alone. Linda's face goes pale. Linda. Why? Quang's voice is low, firm. CEO Quang. To scare you, to steal, to make you feel trapped. Linda swallows, eyes shining. Linda. He'll come back. Quang nods once. CEO Quang. Then we'll be ready. He steps closer, not forcing touch, just presence. CEO Quang. From tonight on, you don't stay alone up here. Linda looks past him toward the fog outside. For a second it swirls strangely, like someone moved through it, like someone is still watching.
Dưới nắng sớm, bà vừa chặt mía vừa kể chuyện ngày xưa. Dậy chặt 3 hoặc 4 khúc cho đẹp để bán được giá. Đồng mía cao dần, 45 đồng trở thành hy vọng cho phiên chợ. Một cây mía đổ bất ngờ khiến cả nhóm kêu, rồi cười xòa vì kịp đỡ nhau. Chiều xuống, Linda buồn bã vì con rúi của mình đã biến mất. Nghi có kẻ trộm rình quanh nhà. CEO Quang ghé đến lắng nghe và trấn an và tự sửa chiếc camera cũ trong kho, kéo dây lắp trước sân nhà để bảo vệ cô. Đêm đến, Linda nấu cơm nếp cẩm mời anh ở lại ăn. Hai người trò chuyện lòng ấm lại. Quang kể áp lực công ty, camera nháy sáng, bóng lạ thoáng qua, và không biết Linda có sống sót qua được đêm nay không. Mọi người nếu thấy video hay, hãy cho mình một like, một subscribe. Cảm ơn mọi người nhé.